Hello, I'm Andrew, and welcome to my car. I'm here with Sean and Adam today, and we're in my car because we're on our way to buy whatever it is that we're going to cook today. It's a common recommendation that when picking whatever meat or fish or produce you're gonna cook with, that you should cook seasonally and ask, hey, what's good right now? What do you recommend? That sort of thing. It's something that I've always heard, I've never really put into practice. So we're on our way to a place called Fish King right now. They sell fish. And then hopefully by the end of today, we'll have made something I didn't know that I would make at the start. So we're back from our shopping trip and we've got fish. Specifically, we got one whole rockfish. This fish goes by a few different names, I understand. How do you like that? So this is the fish we got. We got the recommendation from the gentleman who was helping us because this was just one of his favorite things being offered right now. And I gravitated towards this because I don't have a lot of experience cooking with whole fishes. I mean, look at that. We also got some snacks. So they actually sell a lot of prepared foods as well. And we saw all this delicious food and we couldn't pass up the opportunity of having a snack, you know, to tide us over. Tide, get it? The general game plan is cook this fish deliciously, don't screw it up. So where I ended up was, it's a nice day, let's grill this fish. So the main feature of this meal is gonna be the grilled rockfish. And we're gonna keep that preparation pretty simple. So to make things a little bit more exciting, we decided to make a condiment to go along with the rockfish. And I wanted to make Romesco. This is something I've never made before. I referenced a recipe from the New York Times. I thought it would make sense since typically in a Romesco, there's charred red bell pepper, tomato, and since we already have the grill running for the fish, it makes sense to utilize that and char those vegetables as well. The fire actually got pretty low, so Sean helped me take the tomatoes off and lift the grate up so that we could put the red pepper directly on the coals. All we're really looking to do is to char the skin, which will make it easier to remove and will impart a smoky flavor to the rest of the flesh of the vegetables. So that's the base for this sauce. That goes into a blender along with some almonds that I toasted in a dry pan. There's also a couple cloves of garlic, a little bit of red onion, as well as some smoked paprika and bread to add some body to the sauce. That then all gets blended together with some vinegar and oil. So we blended it together, all took a turn trying it. Realized that I actually forgot to add chili pepper, which is going to add a level of spiciness that ended up really actually bringing everything together. There's also a little bit of parsley, which I think didn't really do anything. But that was gonna develop a lot more as it sat. So we portioned that off and set it aside. For side dishes, since we're having all of this Romesco, I thought it would be great to have something else to eat that with. So we're gonna do some simple, really crispy roasted potatoes. I had some pretty small potatoes that I started in a pot with cold water, brought those to a boil, and cooked them until they were basically almost at the point that they would be suitable for mashing into mashed potatoes. But instead, they went into an oven-safe dish with a bunch of oil and salt to be roasted at a high temperature until they got very crispy. Oh yeah, we also ate the boiled potato and burned our mouths. I forgot about that. There's really no point to that. There were too many potatoes to put in the roasting pan, so we just ate some boiled potatoes. The potatoes can get very, very crispy. And when we pull them out of the oven, you have that characteristic high-pitched whine of a potato that's just at the maximum roasting temperature. You know what I'm talking about? That high-pitched. This general technique is something that I saw in a Heston Blumenthal video that was for Waitrose of all places. And I thought this would just be great to have something else to eat up all of that delicious Romesco with. Salted them thoroughly, and you have these sizzling potatoes. We couldn't resist trying a couple of potatoes right there. So since it's spring, asparagus is available, and I thought it'd be great to have a simple, refreshing salad to go on the side. So we took our asparagus and shaved it thinly. It gets kind of tricky with this very young asparagus that's pretty small. So I was MacGyvering it onto the edge of this flipped upside down tray to get every last shaving of asparagus. That I mixed with some simple mixed greens, mint, parsley, Parmesan, and then I set that aside to be dressed later. I also had more asparagus left, so I grilled that as well because that was also gonna be really good with the Romesco. And now to the main thing, the rockfish. Again, I wanted to keep this pretty simple. It's such a beautiful fish, I didn't want to, I don't know, do too much to it, really. And then I also scored the skin of the fish. From what I understand, this was gonna help it cook a little bit more evenly, a little bit more quickly. Basically had some sliced lemon, a little bit more of that red onion, and I stuffed that into the fish's cavity along with some whole parsley and dill. And then I basically grilled that thing. I put some oil on the outside and I slapped it down on the grill. So I think this was the biggest learning moment of this experience because the skin stuck pretty immediately and thoroughly. So the first flip was pretty catastrophic to the skin on that side. I should have done more to pre-season the grill grate the way that I might if I was cooking something in a cast iron skillet. It was pretty devastating in the moment. I think in hindsight, making those incisions along the side of the fish made it so that it was a lot harder for it to release all at once. But the second side went a little bit better. It still tore pretty thoroughly, but the flesh was actually very well cooked, I thought. You know, it was still very moist. In the end, it wasn't that disastrous to, you know, the actual meat of the fish. So now it's time to assemble everything that I made. I had my potatoes, very crispy, the Romesco, the flavor suddenly came all together. The salad, I dressed simply with a vinaigrette that I made of lemon juice, oil, Dijon mustard, some minced shallot, and salt. Shook that in a quart container vigorously until it basically made vinaigrette emulsion. We have the whole fish. There wasn't really more to do there than to add a couple of wedges of lemon and try to cover up some of the mistakes with some fresh dill on top. So that was the completed meal. The last thing was to actually pour some wine that we bought. Stopped in wine shop and basically asked, hey, what should I drink with this thing that I'm gonna make? And I was surprised that the person helping me asked for the specificity of the fish. And then so they recommended this Sicilian wine. This is a wine that comes from volcanic soil. It's mineral forward. There's not too much fruit that's going to overshadow the fish. So once I started plating it up, then I saw that everything was gonna be okay. I tried to take the fillet away from the fish by cutting the skin at the base of the tail and along the top and bottom, and then basically lifting the spine of the fish away from the meat, which it didn't come out in one piece, but you could see pretty immediately like, okay, all of that inside flesh is gonna be nice. The fish was great. I mean, I think my instinct to not do anything to the fish was correct. Because as soon as you get that very tender, pretty mild, but it still has like that nice, sweet ocean taste. The Romesco is maybe a little bit too powerful for the fish, but it's nice to go back and forth between a little bit and then none, and then a little bit more with a potato, and then back to the fish on its own. So that's how we cooked what was good today. And I think it was pretty good today, right? I hope you enjoyed watching. If there's another category of thing that we should go to find out what is good today and cook from that, we'd love to hear your suggestions. But otherwise, thanks for watching.